When Johar Tsarnaev was sentenced to death for the Boston Marathon bombings, it did not bring the case to an end. It set the stage for years of appeals. For many of his victims, there is no appealing a life sentence of health problems. Here's Michelle Miller.
Watching Heather Abbott work out, you never suspect she's wearing a prosthetic. She lost her left leg in the Boston Marathon bombing. But another injury of hers is even easier to hide.
I struggle to hear what people are saying, and sometimes I'll ask them to repeat themselves so many times that I just pretend I heard at a certain point.
Abbott is among the more than 100 bombing survivors who suffered an ear injury or hearing loss.
I expect them to be loud.
Many are taking part in a 3-year study at the Massachusetts Eye and Ear Infirmary. Lead researcher Dr. Alicia Quinnell says past research focused solely on soldiers injured on the battlefield, not civilians.
This was, of course, in a crowded group of spectators who aren't wearing headgear or helmets. And so thinking about that in terms of blast mechanics and how pressure waves ricochet off of buildings, the surroundings are very important in terms of how much damage is actually done.
Now, halfway through, this research has found how damaging this type of explosion can be on hearing. People within 1,000 feet of either blast reported hearing loss, ringing in the ears, and imbalance, problems which persist today. 90% of patients hospitalized for other injuries also had ruptured eardrums, and about 30% of patients who didn't have symptoms at first developed them within the last 2 years. Doctors worry even more people will come forward.
There is probably some damage in the inner ear at the level of the cells within the inner ear, and that damage may potentially be permanent even as a result of a single blast injury.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
It took a year for Heather Abbott's ruptured eardrum to heal enough for her to get hearing aids.
I definitely hear voices louder and clearer, and background noises that I don't hear when they're off. So it's interesting how much I wasn't hearing that I didn't realize.
She hopes this research advances the use of technology for hearing loss, the same way other research gave way to this prosthetic, allowing her to run again. Michelle Miller, CBS News, Boston.